Hola y bienvenido a esta lección. Hello and welcome to this lesson. My name is Nate, if you don't already know who I am. I learned Spanish 7 years ago in high school, and I've been teaching the language for the past 3 years now. And today we're going to be learning about how to learn Spanish by yourself in 7 steps. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump right into it and take a look. So, first off, study grammar every day. Now, I know you're thinking, Nate, are you serious, man? Grammar, this is so boring. I hate grammar. And I don't blame you. In fact, when I was learning Spanish in high school, I hated grammar. It's so boring. But the more and more I was learning, the more and more I realized how important knowing the grammar really is for being able to speak the language. Now, I equate this to knowing how to play the piano. So, for example, I can play the piano. However, I can't really play the piano. I can play some songs, I know a few chords, but that's really the extent of my piano knowledge. However, someone like my uncle can play with anyone in any key at any time, any song. He can play the piano. So it really depends. Do you want to be able to speak Spanish fluently, or do you just want to have little conversations here and there, right? Either way is fine. It's simply whatever you want, okay? So in order to get to that fluent level, in order to play any song on the piano at any time with anyone, right, you need to learn the scales, right? You need to learn the notes. You need to learn how to read the music, okay, in order so you can play with other musicians. The grammar is that same idea, right? Grammar is the equivalent of learning how to read sheet music, how to know your scales. All right, so if you just want to know how to have a few conversations, you only need to know a little phrases, right? Just like on the piano, you play a few songs, you know them, but you can't really play with anyone else. No big deal, right? So if you're just learning conversational phrases and little words, that's fine, okay? That's all you need. You might not need as much grammar as someone who's really trying to learn the language fluently. Now, I hope you are trying to learn the language fluently because it will change your life drastically, and knowing the grammar is a big part of that. Now, it's not the most fun, but it is essential. Now, I recommend you either get a book or a course. So, a book is great. There's a lady by the name of Barbara Bregstein. If you look up Beginner Spanish Grammar Textbook on Amazon, you'll find it there. And it's a great book. It lays out all the grammatical concepts in there. It might not be the most fun or engaging. That's why I also wrote down a course, because if you purchase a course, a lot of the times you'll get access to a community and the lessons will be a bit more engaging. Maybe a video format, and there will also be extra resources. So just like my Essential Beginner Spanish course, it's the same idea. You get access to a community and you have these more fun video format lessons instead of just reading out of a textbook. But whichever method you prefer, I highly recommend you start this ASAP if you're trying to learn Spanish on your own and you're not sure where to start. Okay? Step 2, learn new vocabulary. All right, so once we've got our grammar down, we're learning new grammar concepts, we need to know vocabulary in order to communicate with other speakers. So how do we learn new vocabulary? Well, you can use flashcards. Flashcards are such a great way to learn new vocabulary. Now, of course, you'll learn new vocabulary by speaking with people, right? And just using the language. However, learning new vocabulary through something like Quizlet or Anki is going to be a great way for you to expand that vocabulary. Okay, now Quizlet, you could simply look up Spanish vocabulary flashcards or beginner Spanish vocabulary flashcards, and you'll be able to find a multitude of sets that people have created all throughout the world. Now, the next one is Anki. Now, this is a more advanced form of flashcards, but they're extremely useful. Now, what Anki is it's called spaced repetition flashcards. Now, essentially what this means is if you have, let's say you learn 3 words, hola, adios, and gracias. Okay, so let's say you know hola perfectly. You click on again, good, meaning you know the word, you're not struggling with it, and then the program will show you that flashcard in, let's say, 5 days. But then gracias, we don't know too well, so we say, we knew it kind of well, and it'll show us in a few days, maybe 24 hours. And then adios, let's say we didn't know it all, it would show us again in the next 10 minutes. So it's a really effective way to learn new vocabulary words, while at the same time being able to better retain ones that you've already learned. Okay? Cool, moving on. Find a language partner as soon as possible. This is hugely important. If you're not speaking and using the language, you're going to be learning much slower. So by finding a language partner, this is going to help you really start putting the language into use. Now, a lot of people struggle with this. How do you find a language partner, and how do you find someone that's consistent? That's so important. Well, you have 2 resources that I like that you can use. Hello Talk, which is a free language exchange platform online. And you also have Meetup.com. Now, Hello Talk is where you meet strangers from all over the Spanish-speaking world. You teach them English, and in return, they'll teach you Spanish. It's completely free, and it's a great way to meet new people. Now, sometimes the people on here can be a bit flaky, so just be aware of that, but it is a really great free way to get started speaking the language. Now, the next one is Meetup.com. So if you live in a major city or near a major city, Meetup.com is going to be more useful for you. Now, what Meetup.com is essentially, let's say you want to go to a Spanish language exchange. No problem. If you look that up on Meetup.com, you'll be able to find other people who are also trying to learn Spanish or English, and you can have an in-person language exchange. It's a great way to meet new friends, and it's also just really fun. Okay? Now, there's one that I didn't add on here, and that is Omegle. Now, Omegle can be full of very weird and interesting people. However, it is a great and quick, easy, free way to hop on the internet and start immediately speaking Spanish with random people from all over the world. Okay, just be aware that there are plenty of weird people and you might see things you don't want to see. However, it is a quick, easy, free way to video chat with random strangers. Okay? All right, next, listen to Spanish every day. This is hugely important, and listening to Spanish every day is one of the reasons that my accent became much more native, much faster. Now, nowadays, it's amazing because a lot of the times, Latinos will think that I'm Mexican. Why? Because of my accent. How did I get this accent? By listening to Spanish every day. I absolutely love listening to Mexican music. It's one of my favorite things to listen to. In fact, I listen to it every single day. We have a multitude of things that we can listen to in Spanish. Music, like I just talked about, you can find your favorite songs. In fact, I have my own personal playlist of songs in Spanish that you can check out. I'll put that in the link in the description. You can listen to podcasts. There's a fantastic one called Coffee Break Spanish that I used to listen to quite a bit that I really enjoyed, completely free. You can get it on Spotify and I believe Apple Music as well. And you've also got People, right? Just speaking with random strangers is another great way to listen to the Spanish language, because a lot of the times we really struggle with being able to understand native speakers when they're speaking to us. So if you can get a language partner, that will also be a form of listening to Spanish. Okay? Cool. I hope I'm not going too fast. I hope this is helping you out so far. We're going to take a look at this side of the whiteboard now. All right, so number 5, watch media in Spanish, okay? So whether you're watching something like TV, movie, news, right? Whatever you prefer, right? It's really about what you enjoy. You know, you want to make the learning process enjoyable, because ultimately, if you're enjoying the learning process, you'll want to keep learning, right? If you hate the learning process and it's like this arduous thing, you're not going to want to keep learning, okay? So find TV shows you like, movies you like, news you like, right? Some movies I love, right? Coco. Oh my gosh, if you haven't seen Coco, it's amazing. I highly recommend you watch it. Now, when it comes to watching media in Spanish, I highly recommend that you watch it in Spanish with Spanish subtitles. Now, you could also, for example, if you're watching Coco, watch it in English first with Spanish subtitles. Then go back at a later point, watch it in Spanish with Spanish subtitles. Okay, now I highly recommend that you have a pen and paper at the ready when you're watching media in Spanish, or a translator, okay? Because you're going to be learning a lot of new vocabulary while you're watching these shows, movies, news, whatever, okay? So really important. All right, next, read easy books in Spanish. Now, I know a lot of people don't enjoy reading, but reading is a fantastic way to improve all aspects of your Spanish. In fact, I'm currently reading a book about Selena, a really popular Mexican-American artist, and it's fascinating, right? And I'm really enjoying it. Now, something I actually do is I read in Spanish on my Kindle. Now, this is super useful because I can immediately translate words that I might not know on my Kindle. So that's a big advantage as opposed to reading a regular paper book. By having the Kindle, I can just highlight a word and immediately translate it for me. You can actually get a Kindle. I want to say the cheapest one's like $60, so not too bad. It is a pretty good investment if you're interested in that, because you can read books in English as well. Okay, also my friend Ollie Richards, you may have seen his videos before. He has a lot of easy books, beginner books in Spanish that you could check out. I could also put that in the link in the description. They're super popular, and I know that a lot of people learn Spanish from those books. One last thing I'd like to say about books is when you read, I highly recommend that you read out loud. So instead of just reading in your head, if you read out loud, it's a good way to practice your spoken Spanish, okay? All right, and finally, be consistent and have fun. At the end of the day, you're learning Spanish because you want to connect with people, you want to expand your horizons, but you want to have fun, okay? You want to be consistent. At the end of the day, I would rather you spend 5 minutes a day learning than 5 hours a day for 2 weeks and then you stop, right? You get burnt out. It's much more effective that you're consistent with your learning, okay? I always say, even after having been learning Spanish for the past 7 years and mastering my Spanish, I still have things to learn. I'm consistent every day. I listen to music every day. I'm speaking with people every day. So you can always be improving your Spanish, okay? It's not going to be this overnight thing, right? It's going to take time, but enjoy the process. It's supposed to be fun, okay? So have fun, learn through mediums that you enjoy, whether that's watching TV, watching certain movies you enjoy, listening to music you enjoy, meeting cool Spanish speakers that you like talking to. At the end of the day, it's about having fun, having a good time, and connecting with people. All right, so there you have it. Those are my 7 steps for how to learn Spanish by yourself. I hope this lesson wasn't too quick. I hope that you've learned something new and gained some value from it. If you want, you can check out my website, SpanishWithNate.com, where I teach you how to learn fluent Spanish. And yeah, like I said, I hope this has helped. Muchas gracias por ver esta lección y nos vemos en la siguiente lección. Adiós.